Hello guys and welcome once again. My name is Njenga Hakeenah, and now Chinese electric vehicle automakers are entering the African market in unconventional and highly strategic ways, often bypassing traditional auto industry playbooks. Despite being the world's factory for every kind of product, China will not relinquish its low manufacturing jobs, which could help developing nations, most of them in Africa, get to the next level of economic productivity. And with this reality, the nascent EV markets in different African countries will no doubt have to contend with the muscle and the money the Chinese automakers have, and which they could splash around to claim the market that is still struggling to get out of the woods. As competition heats up, here are some of the most notable approaches the Chinese EV automakers are taking to gain a foothold in the African market. The first one is building charging infrastructure before selling cars. And companies like BYD are investing in solar-powered charging networks and battery swap stations before scaling vehicle sales. For instance, BYD plans to deploy hundreds of solar-powered charging stations in South Africa, ensuring that EVs can operate in areas with unreliable grids. This infrastructure first model is rare in African markets, where most automakers wait for government or third parties to build the charging ecosystem. The second one is that they are partnering with local assemblers and energy startups. And rather than setting up fully owned factories, Chinese firms often collaborate with local assemblers or energy companies to lower entry costs and navigate policy hurdles. In Kenya, for example, partnerships between Chinese suppliers and local e-mobility startups are helping expand two- and three-wheeler fleets using locally assembled kits. A good example is the Basigo partnership with BYD, Kinglong, and the just recently announced partnership with giant battery maker CATL. The third one is targeting two- and three-wheeler markets first. And in East Africa, for instance, reports show that the two-wheelers and three-wheelers are the fastest electrifying segments in the transport sector. And so instead of starting with cars, many Chinese automakers are focusing on electric motorbikes and tuk-tuks, which are more affordable and already central to Africa's transport ecosystem. This segment offer faster adoption and visible impact on emissions and fuel savings. Some of the bikes are badged as per the customer's requirements and may not even bear the Chinese manufacturer's brand. Right there is one hurdle that has been overcome in this segment. The fourth one is leveraging solar power and battery swapping. Now, Chinese companies are experimenting with off-grid solar charging and battery swapping models, making EV ownership practical in areas with weak infrastructure. Firms like Spiro, Kiri EV in Kenya, and Zembo in Uganda are using battery as a service concept to cut upfront costs for riders. And then there is the integration with local supply chains. And some firms are positioning themselves for the long term by exploring local mineral sourcing and component assembly. They're interested in lithium, cobalt, and nickel resources across countries like Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, and the DRC, linking Africa's resource base to their global EV production networks. Again, some are using strategic pricing and financing, and Chinese automakers are offering cheaper, affordable EVs with high-end features, undercutting Western rivals. In South Africa, Chery, BYD, and GWM's Aura models sell at prices well below Tesla's or European EVs and often come with attractive financing packages through local banks and leasing companies. In short, these Chinese EV makers are reinventing market entry in Africa by building ecosystems, not just selling cars. Their strategy combines infrastructure, affordability, and local partnerships, all owing them to shape how electric mobility takes root across the continent. Now, with this happening, where does African EV manufacturing stand? If partnerships like Bicycles are replicated, then African countries have a chance at benefiting from an aspect of the EV value chain. However, it all boils down to policy and government having to either create enabling environments for this to happen or missing the bus altogether. My name is Njenga Hakeenah, and I always look forward to your comments on what you have to say about these developments. If you have not already, please hit the subscribe button, enable notifications, then like and share to keep these conversations going. See you again soon.